Hello and welcome back to the Touch on Sport podcast. My name is, of course, Buster Tutch. I am your host, and this is my roundup of week 1 of the NFL. What an opening weekend it has been. Oh my goodness, we have had some amazing games, amazing action, some close games, some not that close games, some brilliant performances, some interesting performances. There's storylines from across the league. It's been an absolutely amazing weekend of football. We've still got one game left tonight, of course, with the Bills and Chiefs still to kick off their season. So, we'll start it off. Thursday night football, season opener. Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Detroit Lions. And Detroit pulled the upset, 21-20. Huge result for the Lions. A huge shock for the Chiefs. I knew it was going to be a close game. I picked it to be a close game, but I thought the Chiefs were going to be able to hold on and win. But wow, what a result for the Lions. What a great game plan by the Lions. They just came out there and said, yeah, you're Patrick Mahomes. You're going to score some points, but we're going to play this game tight. We're going to run the ball. We're going to create opportunities for Jared Goff. And they came out, smashed him in the mouth. 21-20, take the result, take the win away. What a way to start their season. That was Thursday. The dust had time to settle before we came into the Sunday slate of games. And there was so much action happening. It was great afternoon, evening of football. We'll start with some of the 6 o'clock kickoffs. We'll start with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going into Minnesota and upsetting the Vikings, 20-17. A surprise result for me. I did not see this happening. I thought that Minnesota were going to have this game. I didn't think they were going to blow them out or anything, but I thought this was going to be a Minnesota game, and Minnesota win. Huge result for the Bucs. Baker Mayfield proving some doubters wrong. Really impressive. Kept hold of the football, didn't turn it over, didn't throw any interceptions, played solid. Minnesota dominated the game, right? They had more of the football, they had more offense. That Tampa Bay defense held strong and gave their offense the opportunity to come in and win the game. And that's all that they did. Huge game by the Bucs. Moving on, we had Pittsburgh Steelers hosting the San Francisco 49ers. And then 49ers just came out and said, yeah, we see you, Pittsburgh. We're going to play football here today. Out 20-0 before the Steelers got a drive going, really. Absolute dominance. Just when the Steelers did finally get a drive going, they got a touchdown to end the first half. Start of the second half, out come the Niners. Here comes McCaffrey, 65 yards, touchdown, game's done. Hugely impressed by Brock Purdy. Going in year 2, he's not just the rookie that no one knows about anymore. There's tape now. Came out, threw the ball, kept hold, didn't throw any interceptions. He had the fumble, but TJ Watt is TJ Watt. He's going to make sacks. He's going to cause problems for quarterbacks all season long. Really impressive performance by Purdy. 2 touchdown passes to Brandon Ayuk. Really strong opening game for the Niners. Especially though on that defense. They just shut down Kenny Pickett. The 1 touchdown drive, everything else. A couple of interceptions. Just did not let them get going. Really impressive day for the Niners and that defensive front. Then Washington Commanders hosting the Arizona Cardinals. It was never going to be an amazing game. It was never going to be thrills and offense and crazy greatness, but the Commanders did enough. They won 20-16. It was close. It was what it was. We knew Joshua Dobbs wasn't going to have a complete control of that Arizona offense going in. He's only just arrived there. He's not a starting caliber quarterback anyway. Somehow able to do enough. 200 passing yards, 1 touchdown. Already had the interception, but he did enough for his team. Okay, moving on. We'll go on now to the Ravens at the Texans. And Texans, defensively, they were strong. D'Amico Ryan's putting his imprint on that team straight away. Offensively, rookie quarterback, first game. CJ Stroud just couldn't get it going. They lost by 16 points. Just couldn't get that touchdown. Couldn't get into the end zone. And that's what it's like for rookies. Baltimore, they're a veteran team. They have a strong defense. They're a veteran coaching staff. They're just going to play shutdown defense on rookie quarterbacks, and that's what it is. Offensively, they looked okay. There's more to come, but the Texans' defense held them back quite well. The issue for the Ravens, injuries. J.K. Dobbins obviously done his Achilles. Be interesting to see how they go health-wise for the rest of the season. Obviously, the team wiped out by injuries the last couple of years at the end of the seasons, and it's really affected them. Hopefully this year, have a bit better health, and they can get back to having all the guys on the field. Then, Jags at Colts, and a 31-21 win for the Jags. Not a fluent game for Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars, but they did enough. They held on. They got through it. There was a chance late on that Indy might come through, but fourth quarter, Trevor Lawrence came through, and 2 touchdowns in the final quarter. They did what they needed to do. They got the win. They got clear. It was always going to be a tough game for Indy. I think they'll be just happy to be able to actually have played some competitive football with Anthony Richardson getting his first start, get him into the game, get him going. It's going to be like that this season for them, I think. I think it's just going to be a year of getting Anthony Richardson used to the NFL, getting him settled. But for the Jags, they want to know. Move on. It wasn't their best game, but they won, scored some points, came through late, and they want to know. They can start their season from now. It's a good start. Okay, Browns hosting the Bengals. Joe Burrow does not like Cleveland Browns. 1-5 now, I think, in his career against the Browns. But, hey, last year, Bengals started 0-2, won the division. We knew Joe Burrow wasn't going to be right coming off the calf injury. It's a big injury. It affects him mobility-wise. And the Browns have a serious defense, so I'm not overly surprised. I'm quite impressed by Deshaun Watson. I think he wasn't perfect, but he did enough to be able to allow that running game, Nick Chubb, carrying the football, to just take over. And they got ahead early, and they just ran the ball down Cincy's throat. And, that's all they got to do. They didn't look world beating. I think Cincinnati were just not great, but they are slow starters. They were last year. Joe Burrow missed training camp. I think there's room for improvement for both these teams. Cleveland will be more than happy, I think, to start this year 1-0. See how they go in the next few weeks. Atlanta, Carolina next. And I think it was what we kind of expected it to be. Young quarterbacks, nothing great. Bryce Young, couple of interceptions. Desmond Ridder, they didn't allow him to do too much. They more were about running games. And Atlanta's running game is strong. It's really strong, and I think that we're going to see a lot of this year from the Falcons. A lot of running the football, a lot of trying to take the ball out of Desmond Ridder's hands, letting him pass it off, trying to get ahead early, playing strong defense, and guide the football. And you know what? It was effective against Carolina because rookie quarterback, coming in first game. It's not going to be settled. There's not a huge amount of talent on this Carolina team, and Atlanta had more than enough to grind away as we said that they would. So I think that game kind of went as we expected. Okay, so moving on to the Titans at Saints. Sorry, Saints at Titans. Derek Carr, solid, strong quarterback play. We kind of expect that he is that solid, maybe not top 10, but top 15 kind of guy. And that's all they need. That's what New Orleans needed, just that solid quarterback play. They've got a strong enough defense. They've got talent on the outside. They've got some running backs. I'm disappointed in Tannehill. I think if Ryan Tannehill keeps playing like this, then it's going to be a hard year for the Titans. We know they're going to want to run the ball anyway, and when you get behind late, you're in a game where you've got to throw the ball. It's going to be hard if Tannehill's playing like that, but it's early in the year, there's time. Hopefully, for their sake, he gets back to playing a bit better football. Been impressed with Derek Carr, look after the ball well. All right, had an interception, but played solid in his first game with the Saints and got the win. Well done to him. Well done to them. Okay, let me just check. We've done all the early kickoffs. We have. That is all covered. We will move on then to the later kick. We'll move on to Packers at Bears. And Jordan Love played well. You know, no interceptions, 3 touchdowns, 245 yards. He was a good game. He looked after the ball. He played well, had that little bit of mobility, and he was complemented by that running game. We knew going in, they're going to run the ball. They're going to create options. You're going to have to try to counter the running game, which means he's going to have one-on-ones with his receivers, and there's talent in that receiving core. Green Bay are a good team. They've got talent in all the right areas. You don't have to do anything overly special as their quarterback. And that's what Jordan Love did. Nothing overly special. Just played smart, played sensible, looked after the ball. And they can get a win like this. You know, 38-20. Justin Fields. Some people going into the season thought he was going to be a dark horse MVP. I just can't see it. He follows this guy as number one read. If he's not open, he takes off and runs. There's no scanning. There's no moving from read to read to read and, okay, now I'll take off. Or read to read. Oh, there he is. He's open. He just follows his number one read. If he's not open, he just takes off and runs. Getting predictable. Your running has to be a complementary piece to your throwing. If your running is your first option, then it's going to be a hard time being a quarterback in the NFL. I think it might be a long season for the Chicago Bears if Justin Fields keep playing like that. I hate to say it, Bears fans, but I think it's going to be a struggle. Okay, Rams at Seahawks, and oh my goodness. Did LA Rams take away that Seattle offense? Geno Smith, was he going to have a similar year to last year? Is he going to revert back a bit to type and be that inconsistent guy? Just couldn't get anything going. Couldn't get the receivers going. Couldn't push the ball down the field that much. Only 112 yards through the air. Not great. But the LA Rams, on the other hand, wow. We say a lot about there's not that much top-end talent on that team. A lot of young players. They come through and they just smashed it. Matt Stafford looking like that top 8, top 5 QB that he was a couple of years ago when they won the Super Bowl. If he can maintain that, they could have a real chance, even without Cooper Kupp being out, with him being out injured. I don't know if they'll be able to sustain it. Young guys are going to be inconsistent. They just are. That's what young players are. That's what young players do. If Stafford can be being that consistently that guy, then they might be okay. I don't think they're going to be great anyway, but if Stafford can keep playing like that, they'll be able to get through quite well. Pardon me. Okay, next game we're going to have is the Dolphins at the Chargers. High scoring game. 36-34, Dolphins win. All about offense. All about two young quarterbacks throwing the ball, pushing the ball down the field, but also that running game, that complementary running game from the Chargers. These teams played pretty well. The difference laid on? Coaching. Brandon Staley got outmatched. And that's why they lost. He wasn't able to stop the Dolphins. He wasn't able to adapt. He's the defensive guy. And he wasn't able to get the stop late. He wasn't able to stop them getting the points. And they lost. That's all it was. It was late points. They're not able to stop the Miami offense late in the game. That's the difference. Staley keeps coaching like that. It's going to be a long year for the Chargers. I like Kellen Moore's offense with Justin Herbert playing well. They're moving the ball. But if their coaching's not going to be up to standard from the head coach, it's going to be a tough year for them. They're going to get wins. They're going to play well. They're going to move the football. But if their head coach is down like that all season, they're going to get outmatched. Okay, Raiders, Broncos. 17-16, Raiders win. Jimmy G, when he's healthy, he wins. We said it coming in. He didn't have to do loads. 200 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. It's enough. It was never going to be a high-scoring game. It was always going to be a close, stop-starty game from both offenses. Jimmy G, new players, new teammates, new team, new system, having that chemistry, not quite built up with Devontae Adams. Russell Wilson lost a couple receivers to injury. New offense with Sean Payton. But Russ, 27 of 34 for 177 yards. All right, he didn't turn the ball over. He didn't have an interception. Didn't turn the ball over, but they just couldn't get anything going. Couldn't get the completions. It was difficult for Denver. Got to be able to push the ball down the field more. They've got to be able to get those receivers in space. If Russ can't get the connections to the right people, receivers can't get open. I know they were missing a couple guys for injury, but it's going to be a tough game, tough year. If they can't get that offense clicking, we'll see how they go. Okay, and then we have Eagles at Patriots, where the Eagles won 25-20 over New England. It wasn't a vintage game from Philadelphia. They went out like a house on fire last year. One of the best first quarter scoring teams in the league this year. 16 points in the first quarter. But New England slowly ground their way back. 14 points unanswered in the second quarter. Mac Jones played nicely. He kept them in the game. But Eagles, they had that lead. They just started running the ball. And that's what they do. They want to run the ball. They want to shove it down your throat. The Patriots didn't let them go away. They've got a strong defense. That's how they're drilled. That's Bill Belichick. He's not going to let you get away from them. Eagles were able to hold on from that fast start, and that was enough for them. But it wasn't vintage. It wasn't great. It wasn't them at their best. But there's time. It's early season. They got the win. They come out of New England with the win, 1-0. And there's something to build on. Okay, there's not much. It's not the Super Bowl hangover I thought they were probably going to have. So I'm impressed that they were able to get through that. Now, see how they kick on from here. Can they keep putting that offense back together, keep running the ball, get, Jalen Hurts connecting more with his receivers? We'll see how they go. But they got through. They got the win. 1-2 Eagles. Okay, and then finally for the Sunday slate of games, Sunday Night Football, Dallas Cowboys going into New York and whooping them 40-0. Wow. I mean, First drive, Giants moving the ball, got down, have the field goal, it's blocked. Cowboys take it the other way for the touchdown. And from that moment on, Giants were behind. They had to start throwing the ball. They couldn't just get that grinding running game going to set themselves up. Try to put the ball in Daniel Jones' hands. Couldn't get it done. This Dallas defense is legit. They get ahead. They can run the ball. We know they're going to run the ball hard with Tony Pollard, and he had a great game. He had 2 touchdowns. He had 70 yards. He did what he needed to do. This Cowboys defense, they're going to come after you. That defensive front, that D-line, that's going to just keep coming at you in waves. And they did. Micah Parsons had a great game. They just kept coming. Daniel Jones, a couple interceptions. It was rough for the Giants. End of the day, they're only 1-0. There's time for them now to come back, take a step back, reassess, get back to that running game, take the ball out of Daniel Jones' hands more. But was not a good day at the office. Right, we have just got one game left in this weekend, and it is tonight's game. It is, sorry, I am all over the place here. My brain is stopping working. We have got Buffalo Bills against the New York Jets tonight. We'll see how it is. Bills at Jets. It's in New York. It's 9/11. It's going to be quite the event, I think. It's Aaron Rodgers' New York debut. Aaron Rodgers doesn't lose on Monday nights. He hasn't since 2013, I believe. I think the Jets are going to win this game. Just get the feeling that they're going to be able to... That defense is going to be able to stymie the Bills enough, I think, because they're not going to be able to get the running game going. They're going to put the pressure on Josh Allen. And I think the Jets are going to be able to run the ball on them. I know the Bills have a good defense, but I think the Jets are going to be able to run the ball down their throats a bit, grind the clock out. I think Rodgers, he's going to be up for it. He's built the connection. He's been locked in. He's built his relationships up with his receivers. I'm excited to see how they go. But for me, it's Jets by 3. Jets by 3. That's my pick for tonight. Okay, that is the end of the Touch for Sport podcast for today. It has been a great week 1 of the NFL season for the 2023 year. I'm already excited for week 2. We'll be back on Thursday with our breakdown of every single game on the slate from Thursday night through to Monday Night Football for week 2. Look forward to seeing you then. But for now, have a lovely rest of your week. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I will see you next time on the Touch Sport podcast. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.